Hey guys, welcome back. If you're anything like me or my family, growing up, money wasn't about planning. It was about surviving. A budget is a plan that tells where your money goes before it disappears. No matter how little you make, even small steps can lead to big results for you and your family. And so today, I'm gonna go over some frameworks that people use to create wealth for themselves and for their families. But the key takeaway is that don't let these frameworks stop you from getting started. So let's get started. Let's come to the board. As we normally do, we break things down in the simplest form. No jargons, no hard, complicated words. We're trying to simplify things and make them relatable to you because that's how I learned best. My teachers that broke things down to the simplest form happens to be my favorite teachers when I was a student. And so that's what I'm trying to achieve on this channel right here. So the first framework that we are going to go over is called the 50-30-20 framework, which states that you are going to use 50% of your earning after taxes is going to go towards your needs, 30% is going to go towards your wants, and 20% is going to go towards your savings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all these frameworks right here on the board for you. Let's start with the 50-30-20 framework. I'm not going to go into details about these frameworks. I just want you to be aware of them. Again, I don't want you to use this as limitations. Instead, I just want you to use it as information that you have in your arsenal. You're using it as information to help you get to where you need to go. The goal is to get you to start. It's not about committing to any particular framework. That is what I want you to take away from this. So the first one is the 50-30-20. 50% to your needs, 30% to your wants, and 20% to your saving. This was popularized by Elizabeth Warren, who's a senator back in the mid-2000s. That's all you need to know, all right? And the second framework that people talk about all the time is the 70-20-10 framework. What this means is similar to the first one right there. It's saying 70% of your money, let's put it in dollar terms, right? If you have $1, 70 cents of that money goes into your expenses, and 20% goes into your savings, and 10% goes into your debt and donations. And the emphasis here is on trying to be a good person and give to causes that you care about. That's why you're going to dedicate 10 cents of your dollar towards donation or paying your debt. That's the second framework. Again, I don't want you to use this framework as roadblocks. Rather, use them as motivation to get you where you need to go. That's the goal here. The second framework that you're going to hear about is the zero-based budget. Zero-based budget. What this framework is trying to tell us is that every dollar has a task. Just like I mentioned in the beginning, the goal is when you earn your money, you designate a specific task to your dollar. That's how you're going to create wealth because you know exactly what you're making every month and you know exactly what each dollar is going toward. You know exactly what you're making and you know what's going out. That's the zero-based budget. At the end of the day, if you're making $3,000, you make sure that $3,000, you assign every single dollar to a specific task until you get to zero. That's why they call this zero-based budget. Going back to the 70-20-10, you're going to see a similar framework by Jaspreet, who is the minority mindset guy on YouTube, who talks about the 75-15-10 framework. I believe he got that from this framework right here, but he uses the 75-15-10, which means that 70 cents of your dollar goes towards your expense, 15 cents of your dollar goes towards investment, and then your 10 cents of your dollar goes towards saving. He talks about it a lot on the Jaspreet show, which is the minority mindset on YouTube. So that's what this is. And let's talk about the third framework. This is called the envelope system. Basically, what this is telling you is you take your money at the end of the month or bi-weekly however you earn your money, right? Either you earn your money on a weekly basis, bi-weekly basis, or a monthly basis. What you do is you cash out your money and then you put it in separate envelopes. And the goal is to be in a place where when you designate your money into those separate envelopes, it could be for expenses, savings, and investment. You can have 3 envelopes: expenses, saving, and investment. This is the envelope system: expenses, savings, and investment. What the goal is for this type of framework is telling you that if you spend all your money in your expense envelope, that's it. You're done until the next time you make money. If you spend all your money in your savings envelope, that's it. All the money that you've put in the savings is done until the next time the money comes back. If you spend all your money in your investing envelope, that's it. You have to wait until your money comes back. You start to pick up a pattern here, right? The envelope system is telling you that after you assign your money to those respective envelopes and you spend all that money, you're done. You're not taking money from the investing envelope and put it in your spending envelope, vice versa. None of that is going to happen. You have to stick to your rules that you set in the beginning. Now, let's talk about the next framework. This is called Pay Yourself First. This is Pay Yourself First framework. What this is telling us is that you save first and spend the rest. The most important takeaway from this is that when you make your money comes in, what you're going to do is what? You invest the money first. Because the pay yourself part is that you're investing for the future. You're ensuring that your future is brighter than today. So you pay yourself first by investing first and spending second. That's where your pay yourself first framework comes in play. So now that we've talked about some of these frameworks, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frameworks. These are very important frameworks. Again, you don't want to commit to any particular framework, right? The goal is to get you to start something. You don't have to pick any of these frameworks. I mix and match myself. In my family, we mix and match the frameworks depending on the season of life we're in. If we're on a busy season where we're expecting to spend more money, like around holiday times, even though we plan for those holiday times, we would mix and match, or you can use hybrid. The one that we normally use is the pay yourself first because what? It emphasizes the future. So we try to use this one most of the time. But when we were getting out of debt back in like 2019, 2020, 2021, we were thinking about, we probably used the envelope system wherein we had a strict guideline that says that we're going to put money on this envelope. Once we spend that money, that's it. There's no going back until we make money again. So it depends on where you are in your journey. The goal is always to get you to start. So you can use your pay yourself first. You can do the envelope system. You can do the zero-based budget, the 70-20, or the 70-15-10, or the 50-30-20. It doesn't matter. Okay? Pick one that works for you. Matter of fact, let me introduce one. It's called Do It Your Own Way. Do It Your Own Way framework tells you that that's for me. You do what works best for your family. If any of these work for you in your journey, by all means, go ahead and use it. But if none of these work for you, do it your own way. Find a framework that works for your family and start. The goal is get started. Little by little by little, you get accustomed to what fit in your family, what works for your family. And who knows, you might come back and pick one of these frameworks and run with them and build millions and millions of dollars. But for right now, in the beginning, we want you to do what works best for your family because our goal here is to get you to get started, okay? So budgeting is not about being rich. It's about being responsible, whether you're spending money back home or sending money back home, whether you're raising kids here in the US or just starting with your first real paycheck, like you graduated from college or whatnot, or you just joined the military, or you just arrived in the United States for the first time receiving your first paycheck. It doesn't matter. All these systems are trying to help you is to get to a place where you are taking control of your money and you are being the boss of your money and you're assigning each dollar to a specific task. That's the goal here. That's what these frameworks are built for. but it doesn't mean that you have to follow them to the T. Just follow what works for you in the beginning, and then as you graduate into the next stage, into the next step, you find out that this stuff start to make sense for you and your family. So the goal is what? To get you to start. I hope you enjoyed this video. I just wanted to go over a few frameworks that you're gonna hear about when you start your journey, and I don't want you to use them as limitations or as roadblocks or as obstacles. Rather, you just use them as information to help you to get to the next level. If you feel like this video is helpful for you and you know somebody that can benefit from it, just poke that thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with anybody that you like to bring to the journey with you. We are going to empower our community, uplift our community together by sharing information. No gatekeeping. We're going to share information. One important thing that I want to note is that I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for educational purposes to try to empower my community. So use this information as you see fit. See you on the next video. Let's go.